Hi, my name is Kevin. I'm an independent journalist. Recently, I traveled to Calais with a grassroots organization, Family on a Mission. During our time there, I was able to film some amazing footage that I would like to share with you to bring into retrospect what exactly the situation is in the jungle, which currently has 6,000 residents and that is growing daily due to new arrivals. In the footage, you'll see how a migrant became unwell and an ambulance came to pick him up. One thing that migrants are dealing with is poor medical conditions and also being turned away when they go to the hospital, not having access to doctors or medication. After this, the group that I was with, the volunteers, went into the camp to make distributions. So you also see footage of this taking place at the camp. When the group was finished and they were leaving, one of the volunteers experienced or was witness to a certain situation that I would like to share with you to kind of create a clearer picture of what the situation is in the jungle. Right away, we noticed the presence of the CRS, the French National Police. They even came over to say hi.
You go in the...
Yeah, we go in the camp, yes.
Yeah. It's a journalist?
Yes,
He's a journalist.
I'm doing this for my own safety, sir. I'm sorry. After dropping Don, Sunil, and me off, Lara went to get the rest of the group. While we were waiting, I noticed that there was some commotion. Volunteers had gone into the camp to assist. Approximately 6 men then began carrying out a body. The ambulance had arrived, driven away, and come back. The man laid on the ground, motionless. It's not clear what happened with this man, if he survived. This is life in the jungle. At this point, the rest of the group had arrived. Normally, volunteers have migrants line up, and then they distribute their goods. During their first visit, Family on a Mission also held distributions. During the second mission, it was decided to do personal distributions, bringing specific goods to specific individuals. The following day, I spoke with Sunil to ask him how things went in the camp.
What time there are people present at this?
And then we pre-packed some bags. So when we were doing our distribution, we ran across a little boy, and there aren't that many kids in the camp. So that immediately caught my eye, and he was standing on the roadside, and there was a camera in his face, and he was being interviewed, and there was a translator there translating into Urdu. He was from Afghanistan or from Pakistan. And the reporter was asking this lady to ask him questions. How old are you? Where are you from? And it struck me as a little bit disturbing at first, because he was there by himself. And the story transpired as he was explaining it that he was, I think he was an Afghan refugee, but he was in Pakistan, so he'd come from Pakistan. His family, I think, was still back in Pakistan. He was on his own. His uncle, he was with his uncle, and that's how he ended up in the camp, but his uncle had already left, so he was by himself. And he was about 8, 9 years old. But the whole setup of the camera on the boy was a little bit disturbing, and ordinarily in any other situation you wouldn't have a camera trained on a boy that's unaccompanied by anyone, and it just hit home the reality of the situation, where there's this boy who may or may not be taken care of by others, but is effectively fending for himself. God only knows what's going to happen to him. But it was sort of disturbing and extremely sad at the same time. And there was a feeling of exploitation. It felt a little bit exploitative, the way that they had the camera trained on him. And on one level, it's an important story to be told. On another level, it's like news of the day. You know, people forget about it, irrespective of what's going to happen. I don't know how they're going to use that footage, but it didn't feel right in the pit of my stomach. So.
You know, when you're in the camp, it's very heartbreaking because you see these situations, you see people that need help, but there's not really a lot that you can do, and it just breaks your heart. And the contacts that I had from Sudan that I spoke with explained to me that when these situations occur, well, actually the entire group that I spoke with, they didn't know each other before coming to the camp. They came to the camp, they talked to each other, they saw that they were, they realized they were from Sudan, so they formed a group, a kind of a clan, and build up a compound, a small compound within the camp where they live, and they take care of each other, and they watch each other's back. So what they explained to me, the contact I have, Ibrahim, is that when there's a child that doesn't have a parent or a family member that can watch for them, the community takes care of them and takes them under their wing, and that everybody takes care of each other like this. So it's very sad to see a child like this, and this situation shouldn't even be taking place, especially not in Europe. But other adults in the camp that see this, they're not just going to let this child be alone and fend for themselves.